Shalom Aleinu. Ya'kol Yisrael Aleinu. Amen.
Amen.
That married in 12 minutes. For the benefit of those who might not heard the Yeshiva this morning, Kisyan of the Ish, Shtei Noshim. If a man will have two wives, Achas Ahuva v'Achas Snua. One that he is more, he desires her more, and the other one which not. The old boy Bonim Ahuva Snua, and they gave birth, the Ahuva, the one that he desires, the Hasnua, and the one that which he doesn't desire. Hoya Habein Habachor Lashniya, and the firstborn, that's indeed the Parshas puzzle. Hoya Habein Habachor Lashniya. And the one that gives birth first will be the wife, one which is not so desirable. So the pasuk continues. The hoya, the yoy manchilai as bonab, when they have to come for them to the Yarshin, the Yerusha, Mayuchal Avaker. These two children, so he can't be Mavernachle, he can't be a Savoya will that the one who is the beloved, even though he's not the firstborn, should inherit instead of one that is firstborn. Why? Because it continues, Ki es habachar ben hasnua, Yaakov also is like Bishnaim, because he's the rightful one. Ki hu reishis lemishvat habachar, because he's really al pi halach, he has to be the one. He can't al pi halach, is that he can't come along and inherit when there's someone who already is a firstborn, even the firstborn that his mother was not desirable. The halach is that the firstborn has to get the inheritance. Because the person continues, because it's Reishi Soinai. That was the first, he fathered that child first. The whole Parshas, all of these psukim seem to be superfluous. What's it stressing here? We know already the din that a firstborn, the halach is, he gets two shares, he gets pishnayim, he gets twice what the others. Why does it be just because someone doesn't want to live al pi Torah, he wants to do something that's wrong, he wants favoritism towards the son of the one that's more desirable, so the Torah has to go through all of these psukim to tell us it can't be done. We know it can't be done. You're not supposed to steal, so the Torah is going to again tell you someplace else. If you're so tempted and you'd like to go take something that doesn't belong to you, would you see a puzzle like that in the Torah? You want to put your hand in somebody else's pocket. You state your name, although you're not allowed to steal. What's the meaning of all of these verses that you can't go ahead and circumvent Torah, the halacha, and also it repeats everything that already was stressed. We know that in Rishi Sinai, when that's fathered first, it's all seems to be superfluous. And then the truth is, if you look carefully at the psukim, it would seem that the one who was more desirable is the one that is the Bechor, was born first, because the way the Pasuk states it, the Yodloi Bonim, who Ahuv Lasnu, it mentions first the Ahuva, the one that's desirable, Lasnu. So it would seem that the one that was desirable, that was born first. So what's the shaila? Why shouldn't? How can you give it to take it away? So the Gaon says like this. What happened was that the one that was not desirable, she conceived first. And the one that was the Ahuva, the more desirable one, she conceived later. But when it came to giving birth, the desirable one gave birth at 7 months. So Yosef Avraham, so the son of the beloved one, entered this world before, even though the other one was fathered first, but he entered the world before the other one. So we might think that that's the important thing. The important thing, whoever entered this world first. So the person says, no, who Reishi Soine? This one was conceived first by Mishpat Abchor. That's the pshat. That's why it goes through all of these, all the psukim to tell us it's a case where we might think that the halach is that the beloved one should yarshin. It turns out. We find in Yerusha, we find in Parshas Noach, there are two reasons, two timing presented why the world was punished with a mabul. One reason is brought down because nechtam gzardin el ala gezel, that larceny, stealing was so rampant, people had no respect for someone else's property, and so that's why there was a flood. The mabul was brought upon the world in the time of Noach. Another time is because of because of Arias, not like Arias. There was immorality. It was so rampant immorality. That's reason. So the Me'omer asks, which one is it? It's a steer, it's a contraband, is it this or that one? So he said that one led to the other. Because there was immorality, unfaithfulness, so there were children that were born out of wedlock, and as a result, a wife might have had lovers, so she had children from lovers, and when it came, when the husband left this world, and they came to inherit the Tiyarshin, so they came along, and they took an inheritance, which was, they were not deserving a shleiki didn't, because this was not their father. This was not their father, so they took and they were, so the unfaithfulness led to larceny. Both were tied together. The question is, they were innocent. These mamzerim, these illegitimate children, they didn't realize it wasn't their father. When they came along and wanted to inherit, they were brought up in the same house with the other children. They were completely ignorant of who their father was. The Gemara brings, in Basra, brings a story about a mother was chastising her daughter, and she told me, she says, you conduct yourself so with promiscuity, so such preaches, you're a tramp. He says, if you want to live that way, she says, It's not, you should have some discretion. He says, you think your father you have 10 brothers, you think they're from your father? Only one's from your father, 9 are from lovers. So, he said, if you want to do it discreetly. It doesn't have to be public knowledge. So the father overheard this, the Gemara says, and he made out a will that the entire inheritance should go to the real son. He left this world, and they opened up the will, go determine who is the real son. So Gemara says that they turned to Rabbi, who was a Chacham Gadol. And they told him the dilemma. They showed him the will, and what happened. So he said, all the sons should gather at the father's grave. And each one with a sword. And they should plunge the sword into the grave. And the father will respond when the real son plunges, which is his son, when he plunges that sword into the grave, the father will respond, this is his son, so we'll know his son. One son after the other proceeded in a row to plunge a sword into the ground, into the cave or the grave. The one son stood aside, and they went over and said, aren't you interested in determining whether you're deserving of the inheritance or not? So he said, I can't bring myself to desecrate my father's grave. So, in other words, it seems that even though the father didn't know who his children were, but the children were born instinctively, they were born with a feeling to know who their father was. So these children, in the time of the Mabul, when they came along and they wanted to inherit together with the rightful children, they knew they were doing something wrong.